What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another HTB video, and y'all see the title of the video, man. Something I like to bring you guys every single year once I get enough information about the game, and that's how to succeed in NBA 2K22 Myteam. Whether you're someone that spends a lot of money, whether you're someone that spends no money, whether you have a lot of time, whether you have no time, there's always some sort of tip to help you guys out in order to succeed, and every single year it seems to help you guys out a lot, and all I want to do is see the Myteam community prosper. So if I can make your lives easier so you're enjoying the mode a lot better, that's obviously what I'm gonna try to do. Now, before we do get into all of this, there is one thing I'm sure you guys have been waiting on since yesterday, and that's the announcement of the giveaway winner. For those of you guys that didn't know, we were giving away a pink diamond David Robinson, which is why you got to keep up with the channel if you want a chance at free cards. But the winner of the giveaway ended up being, and congratulations to Elijah Pratt, who said his favorite food was the steak burrito from Chipotle. I've never had Chipotle because we don't have it in Canada, so I hope it is delicious. His Xbox is ISO legs. He said he can't wait for the No Money Spent series this year. That's also going to be coming out later this year. Be on the lookout for that. But congratulations, Elijah. The card should be in your account at the very latest by tomorrow. I'm sending this message to the dev as we speak, so if anything, you might get lucky and get it by the time this video is out. But congratulations, man. I'll be doing another giveaway this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. And if these tips in today's video, guys, help you out, a like would be appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're on that grind to 300k before the end of the year. I know it's still pretty ambitious, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. But with all that being said, man, let's get into how to succeed in 2K22. Now, for the most part, a lot of it is similar to 2K21, but they also added a bunch of different things that make some things worth it and some things not so worth it. Let's start from the beginning. That's going to be the big thing with 2K that they've added since last year, the seasons. Seasons every year, in my opinion, are always worth the grind to level 40. It's just some people either get too burnt out or they don't start early enough and they can't keep up and it becomes overwhelming. There is a way to do this. Number one, you don't have to be first to everything. Do not burn yourself out. Unless you are a content creator like myself, and even I'm not trying to be first to Kevin Garnett, as you can obviously see. I still have some challenges I need to get done and I've skipped out on a ton. I am level 39, but do not try to be first. That makes you end up spending way more money than you should. You dedicate way more time than you need to. The best thing about waiting a couple days and waiting until you see more challenges is that you're actually able to stack a bunch of challenges. On top of that, cards that do come out on that day end up reducing in price. So many people try to get the cards as soon as they're out just so they can get the XP out of the way. I'm telling you, man, just wait one day. Now, obviously, there's challenges that do end earlier than others. For example, this Moments is gone in 2 days, this one's gone in 3 days, and this one's got 24 days. Obviously, you want to focus on the ones that are going to be ending sooner, but one thing you want to be doing is stacking challenges. It honestly annoys me when I see people trying to focus on one challenge at a time, and the best thing about actually waiting for challenges to stack is you get to knock out a bunch of birds with one stone, which is what you're trying to do. Now, obviously, you don't want to let too many stack because that becomes overwhelming, and then you don't want to grind because you feel like you're too behind. But guys, grinding XP this year honestly feels so much easier than all of 2K21. I know towards the end of 2K21 they released a bunch of XP, but I mean this season compared to the same time last year, I'm having way more fun grinding XP this year than I did last year. So those are the tips I'm going to give you for the season XP. I think it's worth grinding. Do not try to be first by spending a lot of MT. Try to stack a bunch of challenges together and kind of pace yourself. Do not let it sit too long because, like me, you will get overwhelmed and it'll just be a bunch to do at the end, which is not fun because you want to be able to go outside and have friends and kiss girls and stuff like that. So that's going to do it for the seasons there. As far as the lifetime agendas, it definitely doesn't hurt to go for any free cards. I don't think either of these cards right now is a must-have card. If you want it though, it doesn't hurt if you have that extra time. The collector level is whatever. If you're someone that likes to spend money on the game, then the collector level honestly is the most fun it's been in a while. The last time I had this much fun collecting cards was probably in 2K19 for Giannis, but now you can see that there's a collector every 100 cards, and at some point it was every 50 cards. Like, they've really paced it really well where you can feel quote unquote rewarded for spending money this year. Last year, it was only Damian Lillard, one other card, and then Dark Matter Jason Tatum. They did terrible with it last year. This year, they really fixed it. So if you're someone that likes to spend money, it can be very rewarding, especially because if you manage to collect all 4,000 cards, there's an 80 Hall of Fame badge pack waiting for you. So that's gonna do it for that. As far as the dynamic goals go, I don't really focus on them. I mean, if you're able to do them while you're grinding XP, sure, but I would not go out of my way to try to do some of these. Some of them are actually pretty easy. For example, 4 dunks in a single game, Slasher award pack. There is a chance you get a Hall of Fame badge out of these ones as well, so that really doesn't hurt. You gotta just keep in mind, you might not always have the card, so that's gonna be the thing. So that's gonna do it right there for the seasons. Up next is gonna be the My Team Community Hub. I know not everybody has Twitter, so not everybody can see when a creator is tweeting something, or they don't follow or Insta, or they don't really have any socials except for the YouTube channel that you are now watching. In that case, keep in mind and keep a lookout for that My Team Community Hub. For the most part, 2K is always updating new locker codes in there. For example, David Robinson in My Team, a chance at a flash pack, diamond shoe or diamond booster, or tokens. All 3 of those, in my opinion, are a big dub. But there is going to be cases sometimes where 2K isn't always putting the locker code in there. In that case, I definitely advise you go watch YouTube channels that try to update you guys on that stuff, or follow somebody on Twitter that's going to be updating you, aka the NBA 2K My Team page themselves. The locker codes can bless a lot of people. I mean, I'm yet to get blessed, but the amount of people I've seen pull insanely expensive cards out of this is insane. Like over the weekend, someone put in this locker code and they got the pink diamond David Robinson. That's 700,000 MT right there for punching in a locker code. As much as people like to complain, a locker code at the end of the day is a dub. For those of you guys that don't know where to punch it in, it's on the bottom left right here as soon as you go into the community. I haven't punched mine in yet. I'm gonna punch it in later. We don't have to focus on that right now. Now on the bottom left, something that's actually changed a lot is we don't really get daily challenges for tokens or XP or anything like that. There is the new spotlights, and that makes us jump into the single player, which we're gonna quickly talk about the challenges. I think a lot of the challenges are actually worth it this year. Now let me explain. There's very specific ones that are very easy. So if you see challenges like this, guys, don't automatically ignore it because you see that it looks like it's going to be a full game. For example, this alter ego pack right here. All you have to do is score 30 points with a player. You do not have to play the full game. If it takes you the full game to score 30 points with a player, then that's on you. But I managed to get this done in 1 quarter, got myself a free alter ego pack. And again, doing these challenges for all these free packs can really bless you, because if you get a pink diamond Kevin Durant out of this, that's another big dub. And on top of that, you can be grinding your XP challenges while you're doing this. So again, try to combine as many different things as you can when you're grinding all these things out. As far as I know, the skill challenges are the ones that are the most worth it. I'm not too hot on the spotlights myself, but the signature challenge is going to be something to look out for every season. Last season, it was Jason Tatum. This season, it's Donovan Mitchell. It gives you a free diamond shoe and a free Hall of Fame badge. You can't turn that down whatsoever, especially if you manage to stack a bunch of your Hall of Fame badges. You can really put it on one big money card and cash out like crazy. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later. That's going to do it for the challenges right there. Do with it what you will. Now we'll go to the top here and we'll talk about triple threat. Now, whether triple threat is worth it this year for me, honestly, is hard to answer. If you're someone that enjoys the offline modes, it can be very easy. But the thing about 2K this year is the PC loves to play defense, an insane amount of defense. And if you're someone that likes to go in with a god squad, you are gonna struggle. So my biggest tip for trying to fly through triple threat offline, which is probably gonna be your best offline mode to grind if you're trying to make MT and tokens, is this is what you gotta do. I think I said this in last year's video, but all you really need is one solid big man. In this case, we can go with Porzingis. I got my own My Career card, which I recommend you guys go ahead and do because you can customize your animations, and then just throw a bunch of low tier cards in. One person I'm actually going to quickly throw in is Fred VanVleet. He's one card that you can really take advantage of, and we're going to hop into a game and I'm going to quickly show you guys how it can be super easy to score on the tough CPU defense this year. All right, so I've been letting the CPU score a little bit here, but one thing I wanted to mention off the bat is the main reason you want to use these low tier cards is because the computer is going to match you. So you can see they've all got gold players, but this is what I do to score. I step back and I shoot the ball. You can see almost all the time you are going to be open because running the pick and roll offense is not as OP as it was last last year. The computer is going to switch and they're going to close out on those threes. I'm going to let him shoot the shot right here. Again, one thing you still want to kind of do is play defense because it's rare that the CPU misses. Right there, they actually missed back-to-back, which is very rare. But you can see right here, if I try to call a pick and roll, they're going to switch right away. I get right here and I can't shoot an open shot. So again, I call a pass and screen away or ISO or whatever, step back, and it's an open shot almost every single time. In that case, there was 2 defenders there, so it wasn't a smart shot, but that's my way of scoring. Now, if you're someone that doesn't want to deal with step backs and timing shots, one other thing you can do is make sure you've got a big man on your floor. For example, Porzingis, call that pick and roll, wait for that switch, pass it to the roller, and that's an automatic 2 every single time. I just find 3s faster than 2s, but those are basically going to be your best methods of scoring when it comes to triple threat, because they definitely made it tougher like previous years. I personally can't finish games in 2 minutes like I used to, but I mean, with this strategy, for the most part, it's pretty easy. Stepping back and shooting a 3, just like that, it's a green. Again, if you got a custom card that you can put in here, it'll make your life so much easier, especially if it's a jump shot that's super fast. You will get blessed. So that right there are my tips for triple threat. And again, you can also grind XP while doing this if you got certain players in there. I always just want to make sure you've got a big man in there, because worst case scenario, keep running pick and rolls, paint mashing the whole time, and get the dub. Plus, you got the chance of getting a free diamond card in there. That's actually a new one, Purvis short, so it never hurts to get free cards at the end of the day. Now, when it comes to domination, this is interesting because every single year I've said that at the beginning it's worth the grind, but at this point we're in November. They've already added an extra domination in here, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, current domination, it's not worth it. All-time domination, it's not worth it, but you do have to get 35 or 33 stars in both of them if you want to qualify for this domination. And I'm not gonna really say this domination is necessarily worth it, but if you got the time to do this and again combine it all with XP grinding and whatnot, it doesn't hurt to get a free pink diamond. But I'm not even so much focused on the free pink diamond Stoudemire as I am the 3 free Hall of Fame badges, the 7 consumables right there, and on top of that, you get an insane amount of tokens and a bunch of collector cards on your way there. So if you're someone that likes to collect, this one is definitely going to be big time for you, because there is so many tokens in all of this, and I think there's a total of like 300 tokens if you manage to finish all of this domination. This is not something you should rush through, because again, Amari Stoudemire, he's already low-key kind of outdated. If you like Stouty, go for it, but he's not going to be anything OP in comparison to all the cards that are out now. So domination, while it's not really worth it, you could get a bunch of tokens for it if you really want to. Now, when we jump into multiplayer, I think these are going to be the best places to make MT if that's what you're looking for. The best mode, I think, in my opinion, to make MT is going to be the draft mode. And I don't really like to encourage people to spend VC on this game whatsoever, but if you're planning on spending VC, do not spend it on packs. Spend it on the draft mode. Some of you guys might be wondering, what are you talking about? Well, when it comes to the draft mode, guys, you get tokens, and these tokens are something that you can use to enter the draft, select a team, and go through it. But the thing is, every time you reset your team or you don't make it to the end, you got to use up a token to enter again. And eventually, when you don't have tokens, I think you have to pay 7,500 VC to enter, and that's basically trying to open one pack in the pack market. And the thing is, if you're actually really good at this game, this is the only time I think VC is even debatably worth it. And what basically happens here is, if you're good at the game and you know you're basically gonna go 10-0 9 out of 10 times, it's low-key gonna be worth it, because you get 31 picks, you get a chance to pick up a free pink diamond on the board, and along the way is where the big money is. It's not even hunting for the George Gervin, it's all the different diamond consumables and ruby player packs and amethyst player packs and all these deluxe theme packs that you get along the way that makes it so insane. I've seen people make such a stupid amount of MT just grinding the draft mode. On top of that, you also get an insane amount of tokens. It's crazy. And the best part is, you're not really using any contracts for any players, but at the same time, you're not getting any XP for people playing a whole game. So if you can force people to quit, it's gonna make your life a lot easier. So the draft mode, something that I think is worth it. Obviously, if you can try to get the tokens for free, that's gonna be a lot easier. Now, triple threat online, at the beginning of the year, I'm not sure why it says I'm 0-6 because I'm 11-3, but triple threat online at the beginning, I will say to the casual player, it was not worth it. It was an absolute sweat fest, but now they've made it super easy where you don't lose points unless you actually lose the game. So if you win 21-20 now, you don't lose 20 points anymore. You can keep going. You can see they definitely reduced the balls per win, which definitely kind of sucks, but again, you can get a Diamond Rod Strickland, you can get a Kobe pack and a bunch of tokens and a bunch of MT along the way. great. I'm not saying it's 100% worth all the hours, but it's going to be one of the best methods if you're trying to make MT tokens, get some packs, and again, a free chance at a diamond player. Can't turn that down. In this case, you don't really want to go with low tier players. I've seen people try to exploit this because they think it's going to mess up their matchups, but there was scenarios where I was using all gold players to test it out, and I was still running into diamonds and amethyst and a bunch of OP players. So in this case, you actually want to use your best team possible. It's not the same as triple threat offline, but I think it's worth it. I probably focus a bit more on the draft mode than triple threat online because I find that I make a lot of people quit in the draft mode, so I go through it way faster than I do with this. And once you get to, again, the 31 picks at the very end, you get so much more than triple threat online could offer you. That's just my opinion. And then when it comes to Myteam Unlimited, in the past, I would say it was probably not worth the grind because of how sweaty it is, but now it's worth the grind. But for some reason, it feels even sweatier. This season, I'm definitely struggling. You can see I'm 23-20. Last season, I went like 80-15. So it's been a huge turnaround and wake up call for me. You no longer have to go 12-0 now. They give you 16 games to get to the next tier in comparison to 12 in previous seasons and all of 2K21. So they made it a lot easier for the casual player to try to make it to the top, but at the same time, it can be very difficult. And once you get that free pink diamond Gary Payton, I mean, who's turning that down? On top of that, there's gonna be an extra showdown tier. If you're feeling very confident, you can walk away with 3 more Hall of Fame badges out of that or something like that. So Unlimited, in my opinion, is actually worth it. It's just way too sweaty for me at the moment, and I don't play this game enough. Even though I make content for a living on this game, I have not been sweating it enough right now to go after that Gary Payton. And then Myteam Limited, it's Myteam Limited. I wouldn't beat yourself up too much if you miss a weekend because I get it, you got lives to live, but there is still those prizes that you can chase for. So if you can make yourself dedicate some time for a couple of those weekends, there's still a couple good prizes you can go for there. I'd probably aim for either the diamond contract or Hall of Fame badge if you had to sacrifice a weekend. The rest of the stuff, not necessarily worth it. Although I do think this John Morant is going to be an absolute dog, and if you're stocking up Hall of Fame badges, he really could be a top tier point guard in the game. Again, more free cards are nothing I can ever complain about. But with that being said, man, let's get to the next one. The pack market, a very interesting area in the Myteam world where most people make their MT, where most people spend a lot of their money, and that's gonna come to the packs. Now, I'm not one to promote people opening packs, but if you are somebody that opens packs regardless of what people say, at least don't open packs on Tuesday. These Tuesday packs, not only do they always have the worst odds, but they have the least hype players. If you're gonna open packs, always open them on a Friday where they release the big boys like the David Robinsons and the Kevin Durant's, because no card coming out on Tuesday is even gonna touch the value of most of the big cards coming out on Friday. You have to pull 6 pink diamond Jamal Mashburns out of these packs to equal the value of 1 David Robinson on a Friday. Now I know there is price differences and stuff, but something I've always found is that the cards on Friday are always better than the Tuesday ones. And if you're someone that doesn't like to open packs, well, on days that packs come out, that's where you want to take advantage of the auction house, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But for example, if you're someone that likes to open packs, this is something again that I see way too often because you just want to keep flying through the packs. People will flip them all and then they'll be like, oh my goodness, I got nothing that's worth $1 million MT. I'm gonna quick sell everything and I'm gonna assume that value. Now you can do that if you're someone that's got a surplus of money, but if you're trying to make some MT, throw everything in the auction house. Try to get as much value as you can out of things, because there's always that odd situation where people just love to overbid on things for no reason. And most of the time you don't have time to dive into the auction house and see if this court is worth how much MT. So just throw it up there, throw it for a bid. If it doesn't sell, then quick sell it, but at least try to get as much value as you can out of the packs that you open. And if you're someone that's no money spent and isn't looking forward to opening these packs, then one thing you definitely want to do is take advantage of the auction house. That is where the art of sniping comes in. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what sniping is, it's basically trying to buy cards in the auction house that people have undervalued that you can then flip for a profit when you sell back. So for example, let's try to go find ourselves an Amethyst Glen Rice, who by the way is a very great budget card if you're looking to add some budget cards on your squad for the unlimited grind. But we'll talk about that as well in just a moment, because I'm sure you guys have some questions in forming lineups. But Glen Rice, for example, if I manage to find one for 3,300 right now, I know I could flip them for a profit, because we know the average price of a Glen Rice is about 4,700. So the art of sniping one will be trying to get one for a lower value than that and then selling it back. But keep in mind that when you do this, there is that 10% tax when you sell stuff. So kind of do the math there to make sure you're walking away with MT, because for example, if you snipe a card for 4,300 and you sell it back for 4,400, not only was that a waste of time, but you're gonna get taxed right there and you're gonna end up losing MT at the end of the day. One of the best ways I like to snipe, guys, is keeping a card in my collection. And a lot of people don't think about this, but the one thing you want to do, guys, is buy a bunch of these boosts. Now I know some of them, like speed with ball right here, is expensive, but that means that you can go right here and find it in the auction house, because the thing about these diamond boosts, guys, they are the best cards to snipe because you cannot find a specific filter for them in the actual auction house. You have to have the badge or boost with you and then manually search. In this case, I would scroll over to the 4-hour section because that's where a lot of the newer cards are, and that's kind of how you get a snipe. This is something I do every Thursday before Friday cards come out, because if there's a lot of hype, I'll be able to sell it back for a lot of MT. In this case, I don't see anything that's going for a snipe value. The only one that was maybe debatable was the 20,000, but a lot of these could honestly go up, and that's kind of how you want to do it. For things that are super popular, you want to look throughout here and see what kind of snipes you can get. Just yesterday, I found an acceleration boost right here for 5,000 MT. I'm just holding on to them because if they end up going up in price like crazy because of a very hype card, I can sell it. But there's very many ways to snipe in this game, and I'm not really going to dive into it too much because this video is long enough. But if you want me to make a video on sniping and what filters I like to use, let me know in the comment section below and I got you guys. At the same time, there's also a wide variety of creators that love to make these sniping and auction house videos, so make sure you go ahead and check them out as well. But that's gonna be one of the best ways to make MT if you don't want to be physically playing the game and just want to flip a bunch of stuff. Now, as far as lineup management, we're gonna kind of go back to unlimited. You don't always need a god squad to compete. There's so many good budget cards in the game, and that's one thing I want to talk about. When it comes to the pack market and all the newer cards, do not be a hoarder. This is something I used to make a mistake on every single my team before I really start to get into the mode, and that's people seeing their favorite player in packs and then they're willing to spend an insane amount of MT and they never sell them back. The only reason you should really be holding on to high value cards on your squad is if you're competing for the 250k tournament or if you're grinding for unlimited. If you're done grinding unlimited, do not hold on to cards like, for example, somebody I did end up selling but did take an L on was Diamond LeBron James. When this card first came out, he was going for like 400,000 MT. Now this person is a buy now and you can buy him back. So if you were someone that was smart, you would have sold this card on the weekend of the hype and bought him a week after. If there's any card that you're looking to pick up, guys, unless it's a budget card, always look to pick it up the week after, because at that point there's more hype cards that have come out, reducing the value of the other cards. Usually it's on Thursday night or Friday morning that prices are usually the cheapest, so that's usually going to be your best bet to try to buy a card. But do not try to buy them the day of. You're just going to end up spending an unnecessary amount of MT. And again, do not hoard cards. Like for me, I'm a collector, I'm a content creator, and that's why I've got all these cards right here. Otherwise, every single thing would be sold, because the thing about holding on to them like this, all these things just sit here and they lose value. They're the exact opposite of the stock market. I'm investing my MT and they lose MT every single second of every single day. So do not be a hoarder, and that's how you're gonna succeed. And then when it comes to the shoes, just make sure you're quick selling all these bad boys. They're honestly so useless, especially with the way my team has done it this year, where you gotta kind of put the boosts on. Not one specific shoe has an insane value. So for example, if I could sell all of these for 150 times 20, I'm making about what, 3,000 MT is sitting right there. That right there is almost an amethyst Glen Rice just sitting in my collection. So there's so much MT for people that open packs or get a bunch of locker code packs. Just remember to quick sell these shoes, man, because that's just a lot of MT sitting, and that was just Nike. Don't make me get into the Kobe's and stuff like that. So that's just something to look out for. Do not be a hoarder. Quick sell things that you can and look for value in a lot of things. You don't have to be someone that collects all of these like me, because again, I'm a collector. If you are, good for you. If not, whatnot. Try to make as much MT as you can out of these things, because early in the year they still manage to hold a decent amount of value. And besides that, I'm not sure there's really too much to talk about. When it comes to the exchange, in my opinion, none of them are really worth it. Now, there is these reoccurring ones that change hourly, which are a big dub. So for people that get a bunch of emerald players and stuff from packs, you can boom, throw them in, exchange them for a sapphire. And the best part about this is you get an originally owned card. These can be used towards challenges or anything that you like. Same thing with the consumables right here. And there's also the diamond contract that you can get weekly. So if you're someone that likes to open packs a lot, instead of even quick selling your cards, you can throw them in here, get a free diamond contract, and boom, put that on a triple threat offline player, and you'll never have to worry about wasting contracts when you are grinding the mode. And that makes me go back to this triple threat mode actually, because the best part on top of matching up with lower tier players using emerald players is their contracts are also stupidly cheap. But one thing you can also do is go here and use one pink diamond. That way it still offsets it by matching up with a bunch of low tier players. So if you get the switch on the pick and roll on a tiny gold players, it's going to be guaranteed buckets for pink diamond Wilt Chamberlain. But those are all the different things that you can do right now to try to succeed in the game. I don't think grading cards is going to be worth it, especially because you have to pay MT. It's a nice little luxury if you have the extra MT, but it's nothing special. And as far as the evos go, I haven't really seen anything that's worth going out of my way to make MT on. I remember in 2K19 they released so many evos that you could grind out, sell for MT, pick up the lower tier, grind out, sell for MT, but unfortunately that has not really been the case this year. And the same thing with the MT shoe lab right here. Obviously, if you get some crazy thing from locker codes, you can definitely make a nice pair right here. I don't recommend putting it in the auction house. Instead, I recommend you pair it with a super hype card that you can then get for a lot of MT. An example of throwing a bunch of Hall of Fame badges on a card, it leads to this. Look at this. Pink Diamond David Robinson sold for 1.9 million MT just yesterday. Now keep in mind, this card just bare stock sells for like what, 600,000 MT. And the thing is, you don't even need any crazy badges on them. People will look at this, for example, they'll be like, oh my goodness, 10 Hall of Fame badges. It might not be anything great, but guess what? I want it. I'm gonna bid on it. That's one way you can make MT, by grinding out all those Hall of Fame challenges, and they should be able to help you. But those are all the different ways to grind out this game that are basically gonna help you succeed. If you are just a starter, I definitely recommend you start with the offline mode, build up your MT by using all the gold players and everything, and we can afford to buy some of the budget demons like Glenn Rice, the John Havlicek, and stuff like that. Then you want to jump into online, because the thing about online again is it's pretty sweaty this year and they're not going to take you kindly. So I advise you probably fly through like 50 triple threat games, maybe a couple domination games, just to get very familiar with the game, because once you get into online, things are going to get sweaty. And the thing is, the computer is pretty sweaty as well, so it's really going to help you prepare for all the future challenges. But those right there are all the different tips that I have. If there's anything that I didn't really cover, let me know in the comment section, because I'm willing to reply to a lot of you guys. I love talking to you guys, and right now I'm not playing the game too much, so being able to interact with you guys on YouTube is going to be a vibe. No Money Spent is going to be coming soon. Streams are going to be coming soon. I've just been really busy and low-key unmotivated with 2K, so I'm trying to get my energy back up to get ready for Christmas, man. But that right there is going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, and for you new viewers, you know you got to hit that subscribe button and join the Blazing Nation. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day, and take care.